In today's episode, I spoke to Michelle, the founder of Stoddart Music, which is a sync agency based in London. We spoke about how a musician can get a placement in a film with their song, what the process is, and what sync agents look for. So I hope you enjoy this episode.
I'm Canadian, and I got my job in a record store when I was 15. So it was like an after school kind of thing and weekends job. And there were record label reps coming in and speaking to the manager and talking about upcoming releases and trying to promote them for them to rack them in the store and sell them in the store. And that was really the beginning of it because first off, working in the record store was amazing. I loved it. But hearing people more on the business side coming in, it made me realize there's other opportunities out there. It wasn't the kind of thing that was presented to me at school. I didn't know about this kind of opportunity. So I felt very lucky that I witnessed that. And that was really the beginnings of it. And then from there, I decided not to go to university. After high school, I got another job in a different record store. And this was in Toronto. So I managed 2 different locations. And that was a really big learning curve for me as well. I learned a lot about different genres. Things I didn't know about, like I was first introduced to Nina Simone, for example, by a colleague.
Right.
This is going back like a long time ago now. And I hadn't heard of her, and she's now one of my favorite artists. So,
Really?
and just learned a lot about different genres that maybe I wasn't aware of because of what sold in the store, and you had to kind of learn. That was the beginnings. And then I hatched a plan with one of my colleagues there to move to London just to give it a try. And we came over together. And she eventually moved back, but I've been here ever since. So it's 26 years now. And I started with a small publishing company called Acuff Rose. Well, they were small in London. They had a bigger US office. I got that job fairly soon after moving over. And with that, I learned about sync quite early on. And that's been my focus ever since. I've never done anything but since. So
Amazing. Yeah. Are you a musician yourself, or are you just purely interested in the industry side, the business?
I'm not. No, unfortunately not. No, I'd love to, but music's always been my biggest passion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you tell us about what sync actually is? What is a sync placement, a sync license?
It's really just syncing music to visuals in any form. So whether it's an advert or film, TV, or in a game, or a trailer for a film, or a promo for Netflix, or whatever it might be. So in any of those types of forms, and there are sync teams within publishers and labels, or like what we do, we're independent sync agents, and we represent a lot of different labels and publishers and artists directly. And we are very proactive at trying to put the songs in front of the people who are using music. It can be, in some cases, it's music supervisors that we're pitching to, because say an ad agency or film or TV company will hire music supervisors to be their point of contact to gather all of the music ideas and present it in one go, as opposed to getting music from tons of different sources. It makes it sort of streamlined for them to hire one person. So we deal a lot with music supervisors, but we also deal direct with ad agencies and film and TV companies and games. Everybody really. It's a really large network of people that we're in touch with, and it continues to grow. So it's about proactively trying to get the songs to them for the projects they're working on. And then when they want to use the songs, then we negotiate the rights and the terms. So it's like a legal document as well. And we detail in any way that they want to use the song. It's very specific. So for a set amount of time, or if it's only going to air in the UK or wherever it is, it's very specific details about the license.
Okay. How does it actually work then? So does a music supervisor go to you and say, I want this kind of song? Or do you find the song first, or do the artists come to you? How does that relationship work?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. Well, in terms of how the music that we represent, we actively work with, there's kind of like 5 big publishers and labels that we work with, and then quite a few below that, like smaller indies or artists directly. It's a real mix. So we have music from all over the world, from 1930s onwards.
Really?
So when we are pitching music, it is only from those catalogs and artists that we represent. So we don't just, look at music widely on Spotify and start pitching those. It's only what we represent that we are working with. And we do add new stuff to that as well from time to time. We'll take on new artists. We don't really add that many new catalogs these days because we have so much to focus on. when I say we, it's just myself and my partner, John. He works with me. So we're a team of two. So
Yeah.
we have to be careful about not growing too much so that we can't, like, we really want to make sure that we do the best for all of our existing clients. So, yeah. So what will happen is music supervisors will, ideally, we want them to reach out to us when they have
Yeah.
projects, but there's so many places they can go for music, whether it be music supervisors, ad agencies, whoever it is. We want them to reach out to us and let us know what they're working on. And it can be a very detailed brief. That's the term that's used in this community. It's like a brief describing what they want for their project. So we will sometimes get a very detailed one, and other times it's just a quick phone call and someone will say, I'm working on this. Can you send me something? So it's a real mix of, or sitting in meetings, people will tell us about projects they're working on. So it comes to us in many different ways. And we really need to keep working at those relationships as well, because there's just so many people approaching those music supervisors and ad agencies. So
Yeah.
we need to kind of keep in their minds. And also, I think being reliable and on time, because it's often very quick timelines. So people will ask us for ideas and they might need them at 3 o'clock today or whatever.
Oh, really?
And so
Very
meeting that
strict. Yeah.
timeline, yeah. I think meeting that timeline and understanding what they're asking for and sending the right things, because
Yeah.
think sometimes I understand companies might just send whatever their priorities are that they want to get placements for, but we do have to fit the brief and send them what they're asking for. There are exceptions when we might send something that's, in the industry, people refer to it as a curveball or a wild card or something. So
Yeah.
if we send something unique that stands, or that's different to the brief rather, we'll point those out so it doesn't seem like completely off brief. That does work sometimes as well, because it is kind of quite personal what one person hears and what
Yeah.
they
Well,
might think
definitely.
will work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, tell us
That's
about some of those memorable placements you got. I looked at your website and there's hundreds of amazing ones. But what are
yeah.
some of the best ones that you had?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a tough one. I always feel like the very last one that's been confirmed, I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
But so, because it is very, very competitive. I mean, there's billions of songs. So to get
Yeah.
any placement, I feel very proud and thankful that it's come together. I mean, I'll mention a few, I guess. A recent one, it's a British director called Gerard Johnson, and he has a new film out called Odyssey, and we've got 3 tracks in that. So, but I really love his films. He's amazing. British, like, kind of crime, gritty kind of film is his style. And we've had music in his last film as well, Muscle. We got 4 tracks in that.
Amazing.
But there's another bit of a link because we work with his brother, which is Matt Johnson of The,
Oh, right. I
which
love
is one of my
that. Yeah.
favorite artists. Yeah, and so it was kind of by that link with Matt that I got introduced to Gerard, and we've been able to work together. So, and Matt has scored the film as well. In fact, all of Gerard's films he's
Yeah.
scored. So it's a nice connection there with one of my favorite artists as well, Dada.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting one. And then
Incredible.
yeah, it is. It is. As a teenager, I was a massive fan. So to be able to work directly with
Yeah.
Matt was
Amazing.
incredible. Yeah.
It must feel amazing to get a placement, to get that
Yeah, it
confirmation that
is.
you've
I
got
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then like other things, like this is a few years ago, but it's to work with such an iconic artist. And we got an Aretha Franklin song placed in a Twitter
Wow.
ad. So that was pretty amazing as well.
Yeah.
Like I do like working with those iconic songs, but then getting up and coming young artists placed as well. They're equally important and exciting for us. Yeah, that's another one. And then just recently, House of Guinness, which is a series that's on right now that's getting quite a lot of attention. It's the same people that were behind Peaky Blinders,
Oh, wow.
and it's set in Dublin. It's about the story of the Guinness family
Yeah.
and empire. And they've got a lot of Irish artists in it. And we got a new band that we represent called Yard placed in that. And it's
Oh,
really made
great.
an impact
Yeah.
that they've reached out and said their streaming stats have gone up wildly since it started airing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so just helping up and coming, they're doing really well, Yard anyway, but being able to help in some way to help with their profile. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, building on up and coming artists. So
Yeah.
we had an up and coming artist on last episode, and he's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
about 20,000 streams on his Spotify.
Yeah.
But he's saying he
Amazing.
really wants to focus on sync. Is that actually a reliable route to take for artists? Should they be trying to get their songs into sync placements?
I think it's It definitely can be. I mean, there's just no guarantees about placements. Like even with some artists that we feel would be really syncable, which is just kind of a strange word because like anything could be placed really, but you can't know what's going to land. Like even when you think it could be the kind of artist or song that will do well, there's just no guarantees with it. So but I think it can be very lucrative. It can help
Yeah.
financially, definitely, and with their career path as well and profile. So I do recommend, yeah, that either if they want to keep their own rights and are independent, like seeking out a sync agent, like what we do, because there's a lot of sync agents now in the UK and around the world. There's tons in the US. So finding someone who believes in what you're doing, I think that's the main thing, and that they're going to be really passionate about your music and
Yeah.
try and get your music in front of as many people as possible. I think it's a really, really good thing. Or whether it be signing direct to a label or a publisher, and then they would have sync teams on board as well. Or in the case like with us, some of these independent labels and publishers bring in third parties like we are. So I do think it's a great part
Yeah.
of the industry, and it can be really impactful on careers. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's what
love
he was
it.
saying. He was like, you have to get 500,000 streams a month apparently to earn minimum wage off music. And when you look at who's getting 500,000 streams, it's like top artists. So he's
Yeah,
saying for someone like him, it's a better option, which I thought was quite an
absolutely.
interesting
Yeah,
point.
yeah. I think there's so much scope with it, and there's so much opportunity as well. Like there's more content than ever being made. So I feel very positive about it. There's a lot of opportunity, and for all styles of music, whether it be anything from vintage up to now, all genres from all over. There is a lot of opportunity. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
people should get someone on board to help them if that's an area they want to focus on.
How could you, if you were a young artist, make yourself as syncable as possible? Like to someone like you, if you were to view their music, what do you look for?
It's really about whether or not we see briefs that we feel we can pitch it for. So if we get sent something and we listen and we just know we've never had a brief
Yeah.
that or a project or whatever come our way that music would suit, that's the main thing. Like if we don't see an opportunity to pitch it, then we wouldn't take it on for representation. And I mean, there's a word that's used a lot right now, like authenticity. So I think artists should be themselves and not try and copy others and too much. I mean,
Yeah.
I know everybody has their influences, but being true to their own art or what they want to achieve as a musician, I think just trying to be as authentic to themselves as possible is key too. And yeah, I mean, I think film and TV is a little bit more open with lyrics, but with advertising and maybe a promo or trailer, well, that's a little more open too. Certainly, advertising, the lyrics really are a big part of it. If
Oh,
it's
really? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
I
if
can imagine.
yeah, so it needs to be fairly straightforward lyrics and nothing too controversial in there for a
Yeah.
song to get used in an ad. But more often than the other thing is for artists to have their instrumentals mastered. So for that reason, like if there's briefs where they want instrumental only, we don't generally have time for the artist to then go
So go,
create the
yeah.
instrumentals. Yeah, so for people to do it immediately when they are finished with their masters, to get instrumentals mastered at the same time,
Yeah.
so that we have access to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about production quality? How important is that? Do the songs have to be like immaculately produced?
Not necessarily. No, we've had demos placed in the past.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, it just depends. I
Just
mean, if
has
it
to fit the brief.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people do want kind of something a bit more
Raw and
raw
like,
and
yeah.
unfinished, but
That's really interesting,
often,
actually. Yeah.
yeah,
I
the
thought you were going to say the
demos,
total opposite. They have to be absolutely immaculately produced and sound amazing across all speaker types and everything. But no,
yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, it is. But I mean, I'm not a musician, as I said, so
Yeah.
but quite often when we've been sent things and they say they're not the finished master, they still sound really good. So to be honest, if it's like that, people won't even notice the difference. I find yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Ads the most common type of project, do you think?
No, we work across all. Yeah. I mean, a lot of, with all the streaming services now, there's so much TV being made as well and independent film. So no, we'd really work very broadly across all of it. I wouldn't say one stands out more than the other, really. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you said you're very optimistic about this industry. I just
Yeah.
want to push you back a bit. So on AI, what do you think the effect will be with that?
It's hard to say. I mean, I know that it's already happened in the US, but I've also heard other supervisors and agencies speak out and say we will never be involved with a project that uses AI music. So,
Yeah.
and people are being quite firm about that. But then I guess it's hard to know what way it's going to go. But I imagine with budgets being slashed as they are in a lot of cases, it may be a case that people will start considering it. But I haven't really heard of it in the UK or Europe just yet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the AI songs sound really mechanical to me.
Yes. So yeah, I hope it doesn't go that way, but I really hope, yeah, that people
There's
will
always a
value.
reaction against it as well, isn't there? There's always a sort of counter reaction, and people start actually focusing on human-made
Exactly.
songs. Sounds
Yeah.
like a weird thing to say, human-made songs. Like who else would make them?
Yeah.
But anyway, just
Exactly.
to sort of wrap up, like, what would be the best piece of advice you'd give a young musician who wants to get their first sync placement?
Okay. I think, yeah, as I touched on before, getting someone or multiple people behind you and helping you with that, because it's so much about the relationships. So having done this now for about 26 years in the UK, like some of the people that we're working with, I've known that whole length of time. So it is really key to get some people to help you along the way. Patience, I think, as well,
Yeah.
because it's a long game. There's just so many projects and there's so many people putting music forward for those. So for us, like we put a lot of things forward and you don't win them all. So you just have to keep going. So I think patience is key for sure for an artist or anyone working in sync, because there's often a lot of back and forth as well on projects, and we'll get the same brief sent to us, and well, maybe they'll tweak it ever so slightly, and we have to keep pitching and pitching and pitching, and then you might not hear anything at all because they're so busy, the people on the other end getting music from all sorts of places. And then maybe you might hear 2 months later, oh yeah, we really want to go with that. So it's a lot of yeah, I just think patience is key for
Okay.
anyone.
Patience is key. Are there any like sync networking events that people could go to or resources online?
Yeah, there are.
Any notable ones?
Yeah, there's an event called Sync Drinks in London, which is what I was at last night
All
actually.
right. Okay.
And that's held once a quarter. It is listed on, I think anyone can join it in the industry. It's on Facebook and LinkedIn. There you can search and find that there. And then there's a AIM, which is the Independent Artists Association. I think it's just called AIM Sync, and that's an online
Okay.
thing usually. And they do an in-person element to it too, but that is a lot of people in the industry are attending that, and there's talks and panels, and it's quite reasonable to get a ticket for that. That's held about once a year.
Yeah.
So AIM Sync is something they can search. And then, yeah, I think those are the two of the good ones to look at as a start in the UK anyway.
Sure.
There's lots
Yeah.
around the world, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us today and shedding a bit of a light on the world of sync. I'm sure that'd be very useful for many musicians listening.
No problem. Thank you.